Let's go on. И там она позавтракать, а может пообедать, а может и поужинать спокойно собралась. And here we go. Here you will understand why the modifiable endings and beginnings shouldn't be a biggest worry of yours for the translation or for understanding of Russian language. You shouldn't worry about them. We already know three words. Завтракать, обедать, and ужинать. Meaning to have breakfast, to have lunch, and to have evening meal. So завтрак without the ending at here. If we would take just завтрак, обед, and ужин, we would have breakfast, lunch, and evening meal. With the ending at, we got a verb to have breakfast, to have lunch, and to have the evening meal. There is a pattern, but it's not a general rule, so you cannot do it with all of the words. It's just a clue for you to remember something. And what is the meaning of po? What is the meaning of po here? Well, if you don't know what is the meaning of po, it is the synonym. You should use it as a synonym right now. There are special beginnings which make the word negative, but for po, I'm telling you, it does not change the meaning of the word. It changes slightly, but not significant for you to be worried of this at this moment. So let's translate it as to have breakfast, to have lunch, and to have evening meal. So we got и, meaning and, там, there, она, she, to breakfast, and there she to breakfast, and maybe lunch, to lunch, and maybe to have evening meal. So here we can understand what is going on here. She runs up to the pine tree or the palm, and she is planning here, there, and there she is to be having breakfast, or maybe to have a lunch, or maybe to have an evening meal. Спокойно собралась. To plan. Спокойно. Спокойствие is to have a rest, to be peaceful. So here we got peaceful, to plan. So peacefully, she planned peacefully to eat on the tree. Even if you don't understand the sentence the way I'm translating it to you right now, just go on, start to translate, start to understand Russian language. And with your experience, you are getting better with the Russian language. Let's continue. Но тут лиса бежала. But here, лиса is fuchs. Бежала. Бежать, we already know it, is to run. But here, fuchs, to run. So here you can understand what is going on. Even you don't understand the grammatic of the tenses and cases here. But here, fuchs is running. Here, basically, it's past tense. I'm just telling you, but you don't need to know this because, but here, fuchs is running is fine enough for us now. And this ahaha, ahaha, or oi oi oi, ahaha, it's simply for the matter of the cartoon, so don't learn it. The dog language, the crow language, and the cow language is important. Ahaha is not important. Ahaha means to laugh. If you want to make fun of people or you want to refer to laughing, you can say ahaha. If you find the joke funny, you can say ahaha. Or if you find it not funny, you can also say ahaha. Just ironically meant funny. А может не бежала. А может, maybe, not to run. So, but here, fuchs running, but maybe not running. Here we got a past tense, but if we use it in the present tense, it's fine. А может, это страус злой. So here we got, and maybe, это we understand. Это means this is, or it is. Strauss. Strauss is ostrich. Ostrich, the animal who lives in Australia, the bird with the long neck which hides its head under the sand if it is scared by somebody. And zloi. Zloi means angry. So if we translate it the simple naive way, and maybe this is ostrich, angry, and maybe this is an angry ostrich. In Russian language we can replace zloi and Strauss, and it helps you with the translation because you can choose one of them. And maybe this is an angry ostrich, and maybe not angry, but maybe not an angry one. So here, for example, it helps you to translate this A. Surely it's better to use but, because we were speaking about angry bird, and now it's not angry one. So, but maybe not an angry. In this passage, the general meaning from Ivan Krylov changes, and here new characters are coming. Actually, we got so many new characters, it's good for learning Russian language cartoons. А может, это дворник был. А может means but maybe. Может быть means maybe. Может means maybe. And а может, it means but maybe. So you can use it as может быть, or as а может. Try to remember this, it's important. It comes over and over in Russian language. It's pretty frequent. Это, we already know it, this is. Дворник, janitor. Janitor, and try to recognize the gender straight away, because here we got дворник, ends in K, it is masculine. Был. If you check the dictionary, it's быть, to be, and here we got был. So use it as to be. Since we don't know the tenses yet, we haven't started to study them, or maybe you might misunderstand what is going on. Translate it the simple, naive way, and maybe this is janitor to be. And maybe it is a janitor, or maybe it was a janitor. Он шел по сельской местности. Сельской местности is the combination of two words. It means countryside. Сельской местности, put in the case framework. Местность is area. Сельская comes from село, means village. So village area. And ой местности, this is what the case makes to Russian words or combination of words which are agreeing between each other. How to recognize that it is a case system? Because we got here this preposition po, on village area or on countryside. So, and where we got on, with, all of the preposition, we need to change also nouns and words coming with them. However, we don't know it yet. And on шел, here we got a difficulty. Шел, you need to use Google Translator or some advanced dictionaries where words and verbs are put into tenses. Here you need to know something. So шел is an exception. It comes from идти, to go. He was going on the village area, through the village area. However, if you start using a dictionary for this word, dictionary will tell you it is идти in the past tense. So you will understand, well, here we got a sentence in the past tense. К ближайшему орешнику. Орешник. Орешник is walnut tree. Ближайший means closest. Близко, we already know it. Близко, далеко, close and far. Close and far. Близко, далеко. What is going on with близко, далеко here? Especially from близко, we got only bl left here. I assume that Google Translator or some other translators, the dictionaries, will explain it to you. However, we already touched this topic once, but here it's a bit more advanced. Близко means close. Ближайший means the closest. Далеко means far. Дальний or самый дальний means the most distant. So this is the superior form of близко and далеко. Ближайшему орешнику. Орешник is the walnut tree. Again, we got this ending U, we don't know where it comes from. It comes from the case system. So here, ближайшему орешнику, I don't know if you will be able to understand this or not. However, if you will forget, okay, well, this sentence, I cannot really understand what is going on here. But к means to, орешнику means walnut tree. So, to the walnut tree, but we don't know what kind of walnut tree, because we cannot understand the adjective. It should be a case where you will give up this poem. Don't do this. In Russian language, if you got this low threshold for difficulties, it's almost impossible to study Russian language. So here, because we got so many exceptions at once, use it to the walnut tree. So to walnut tree means to the walnut tree. And ближайшему, it's the closest. Well, what can we do? We cannot do much about this. We should wait our time until we will understand what are the exceptions here. But here we also got a logical or cultural part. За новою метлой. За новою метлой. За means for. Новая, новое, новое means new, новый, new. So новою, well, here we don't know what is going on. Новую. But метла is broom. If you will check the translation, it is a broom. Новая метла means new broom. За means for the new broom. So he wanted to have a new broom. Why is he going to the walnut tree to have a new broom, this janitor? Well, here it's a little bit funny and a little bit for the children, or you might think it's for the children, but it's not. There is something, as I told you, the common rational cultural background where everybody knows why a janitor would go to the walnut tree for the new broom. Do you remember the Harry Potter, what kind of broom he was using? He was using a long stick with sticks made to the broom, the witch's broom. And the Russian janitors are using these brooms until now. So basically it's a responsibility of the janitor to create his own broom. Actually not for the janitor. Janitors are not using now the plastic ones, but the street worker, and you might see them in Moscow as well as in a small village somewhere, they're using these old witch's brooms. And this is their responsibility. They go to the tree, cut off the small twigs and bind it with the rope, and they got a broom. So he was going to the forest, to the walnut tree, to get a new broom. And here we go to the original plot from Ivan Krylov, from the 18th, 19th century. This person who is seeing crow with the cheese on the tree, or another animal, wants to address it. And it says, «Послушайте, ворона». Послушайте. Слушать we already know, to listen or to hear. Послушать. Послушать and слушать, you will find it in the dictionary. There are synonymous. There is a slight difference between them, but they are more or less synonymous. And crow. Listen, crow. It's understandable. Even though there is another grammatical structure here, we understand the meaning. Listen, crow. He addresses to the crow. Listen, crow. А может быть собака. And maybe dog. And maybe cow. Но тоже хороша. Here we got the difficulty. Surely as foreigner, as beginner of language, you will have difficulty to translate it, but we will try. Но means but. Тоже, also we already know it. Хороша. Хороша, what is going on with хороша? Хороший, well, no, it's good, nice. How can we translate the sentence? Но тоже хороша, but also good, but also nice. You have to use your creativity. It's a small riddle for you. Listen, crow, and maybe dog, but maybe cow, but also good. It also might have a meaning handsome, nice, awesome, and well, you need to have the flexibility and the feeling for the language to understand these meanings. You cannot really take it from the dictionary. Even though you will find the translations like this in the dictionary, but you need to understand also the feeling within the sentence, the context, and the way people present it to understand that somebody is flirting with you by telling хороша. So this is difficulty for Russian language, for foreigners to understand Russian language in the basic, on the basic level. Let's continue. У вас такие перья. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. У вас рога такие. Ай-ай-ай. Копыта очень стройные и добрая душа. Here it's also difficult because he is flirting now, and flirting is usually difficult to translate, especially if you're a basic language learner. But we will try. У вас такие перья. Перья is plural from feather, so feathers, the bird's feathers. Перо, перья. It's an exception, you need to use dictionary for understanding this. У means at yours. Вас means, у means at, вас means yours. Вы, вас. The plural or the polite form of addressing people. At yours, такие, such. In the plural, we already know такой, такая, такое, такие. For different genders and for the plural, such. У вас такие перья. You At yours, such feathers. Basically, you got such feathers. And oi, 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 oi means wow, 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 wow. You can also use it. By the way, it got both positive and negative connotation. If you use oi, 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 oi and wow, 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 you can describe both the something great and something terrible. У вас рога такие. At yours, rog, the word you will find in the dictionary, and the рога is the plural of it, is horn, because there might be a cow. So he wants to flatter to the cow. At yours, horns, such. Такой, такая, такое, такие. Такие is such for plural. At yours, horns, such. And here you see we can replace such horns and horns such. And if you tell it in English, such horns, you already show that you're impressed by the horns, you're impressed by the feathers. And this is what your brain should do. It should create a sense out of words, even though you don't understand the endings right now. And I, again, we got exclamations. We got somebody who is very much impressed of something. Can be also used in the negative sense. Копыта очень стройные. Стройный is slender, slim, slender. So he flatters the cow. Копыта, hoofs. Копыто is the hoof, the lowest part of cow's leg. Очень, very. Стройный, slender. Hooves, very slender. И добрая душа. And the friendly, giving, nice soul. Let's translate it again. У вас такие перья. At yours, such feathers. At yours, such horns. Slender hooves. And giving soul. So he's flirting with the animal sitting on the tree. Now, а если вы споете? And or but. Если is conditional, if. Вы, you, споете. Here we got, again, a small combination. In the dictionary you will find word спеть, but we already know the word петь. So петь, спеть. Петь, спеть. Can you hear the equal part of both words? Петь, спеть. And it got more or less synonymous meaning. To sing. We already know петь. So try to be flexible enough and not to check it in the dictionary, just use it as to sing. And here, and if you to sing, and if you sing. This is the translation. А может быть залаете. And maybe залаять is to bark. Gav, gav, gav was lie. Лаять is to bark for the dog, and залаять is to start barking. But you can also use лаять and залаять more or less synonymous. What I want from you is to recognize that лаять, залаять, петь, спеть. Your brain should feel, well, this is the help for me to remember these two words. А может, замычите. And maybe, and here we got again, мычать, замычите, to moo and to moo. It's synonymous. So here we get, and maybe you will start mooing, and maybe you will start barking, but if you start singing. Коровы ведь мычат. With ведь we got a problem here, because ведь won't be translated in a dictionary and also not in a Google translator. Probably a Google translator will give you the translation of the whole sentence or word combination. Ведь means aren't they or don't they. And don't worry about this. If you will translate just коровы мычат, cows mooing, okay, well, it changes the meaning of the sentence and doesn't give you any how to translate, but from the whole poem you still understand quite a lot, even without being able to use this ведь. Let's continue so we will understand what is going on in this small passage of 3 parts. То вам седло большое. То means then. Вам, to you, we already know it. Седло is saddle. Большое, big. Седло ends in o. It is neutral. That's why we use большое with the neutral ending. Большой, большая, большое. We already understand this grammatic. They need to agree between each other. But if you don't remember this grammatic, you got седло, saddle, большой, big. The saddle big, the big saddle. to means to you, then to you, saddle big, then to you the big saddle, ковер, carpet, and television, television. Then to you, big saddle, carpet, and television. Подарок сразу вручат, а может быть вручат. Подарок means present, сразу, immediately, вручат, to hand over. А может быть, and maybe, вручат. What is happening here? Вручат and вручат. I think it's a great something to present to foreigners. Basically what they say here, that the Russians are not even sure how to pronounce вручат and вручат. And now the end of the story. И глупая ворона, а может быть собака, а может быть корова, как что-то запоет. And stupid crow, глупый, глупая, глупая. Глупый, you will find it in the dictionary. Глупая, why are we using глупая, the feminine adjective, stupid? Because ворона is feminine. It ends in a. It is feminine, that's why it's глупая. Even though if you wouldn't understand the endings here, and you would understand глупый and crow, you'll understand that it's a stupid crow. А может быть собака, and maybe a dog. А может быть корова, and maybe a cow. Как что-то запоет. Как что-то запоет is a little problem here, a little bit problematic, because we know basically everything. Как means how, что-то, something, запоет, петь, запоет means to sing, to start singing. Actually, this запоет describes more action of starting singing. How can we translate it? How something to sing. Here you need to use your creativity and the sense for the language. However, for you, the translation как что-то means a sudden action which just started. So, как что-то скажет, suddenly say something. Как что-то запоет, suddenly sing something. So this как что-то, you need to develop a feeling for this. Now, what is happening? The bird, the crow or the cow, the animal on the tree starts to sing. And surely the cheese falls down on the earth. А сыр у той вороны. And cheese у той вороны. У той вороны, we got a problem here. Because we know та, тот, те. We are pointing on something in the distance and say this, that, those. But той, what is going on with той? Well, here it needs to agree with у той вороны. We got a case here. And we need to change the ending also on this, that, those. And ворона, actually, we got ворона, the original crow, and ворона, we might think it is a plural, and it actually, if we want to say вороны in plural, the crows, we would say вороны. But here it's ending from the case. So this is why I'm telling you, even if you know the case, but if you're not that experienced in Russian language, you might still make mistakes. And you still need to start recognizing the meaning of the whole sentence. So, and cheese at this crow, and maybe dog, and maybe cow. Конечно же means surely. And again we got this же. Же won't be translated in the dictionary, and конечно means sure. Конечно же means surely. So even if you translate конечно, it's still fine. Sure. Упал. Падать is to fall. Упал is fall down in the past. And again, we got a past tense exception for падать, for to fall. And surely you will find it in the dictionary, and it will explain you. It is in a past tense to fall down. And from this, you should understand that it comes to the point where you need to translate it in the past tense. Hopefully. So, конечно же упал, surely fall down. You can also translate it in a simple present, as I did it now. И прямо на лисицу. And прямо means straight. На, on, лисицу, лиса. Лиса is fuchs. Лисица is also fuchs. We got the synonymous word for fuchs with absolutely no difference in the translation. И прямо на лисицу. On fuchs. And straight on fuchs. To be able to understand this, we need to read the rest of the passage. А может и на страуса, and maybe on ostrich. А может и на дворника, and maybe on janitor. Немедленно, straight away, попал. And попал might have so many meanings. To get, to find, to catch, to land, to walk into, so multiple meanings, as well as many other Russian words. So how to translate it? Surely you will translate it as to land. If you got some questions or some doubts, go to a Google Translator and translate the passage. Maybe it will help you somehow. If you translate single words in Russian language, then you got a problem because the words are agreeing between each other. And here, for example, лисица or вороны, собаки, it might mean the plural, or it might mean that it put in a certain case. And usually Google Translator doesn't know it, and surely to derive it from the dictionary it's very difficult. So straight away, fall down. So и прямо на лисицу, and straight on the fox, and maybe on the ostrich, and maybe on the janitor, immediately fall down. So, and cheese, at this crow, maybe dog, maybe a cow, surely fall down, and straight forward on the fox, and maybe on the ostrich, and maybe on the janitor, immediately fall down. And now we're coming to the moral. Идею этой сказки, idea, этот, это, is this. Этой is agreeing with сказка. Сказка is tale. Сказки put in the case. So этой сказки is already put in the case. But because we know сказка is tale, это, this, and idea is idea. Idea, this, tale. Idea of this tale. Idea of the tale. We found out the meaning of the sentence. And maybe not a tale, and maybe not a fairy tale. Поймет не только взрослый. Поймет, понимать. Поймет is an exception. You cannot really understand this. You will need to use Google Translator. Не только. Только means only. And не только, not only. Взрослый is grown up. Поймет не только взрослый. Understand, not only grown up. So we understand that it goes something about the future tense, because поймет is in the future tense. So if you will find somewhere the meaning of this word, you will understand that it is already in the future tense. And your brain starts already to create the database for future tense if you haven't started to study it yet. So поймет не только взрослый. So conjugated verb to understand in the future tense. Поймет не только взрослый. Will understand not only the grown up. I'm sorry, I cannot really explain how to make sense out of this, and especially I cannot really feel into you because I'm Russian. For me it's more or less natural. Но даже карапуз. But even, даже means even, карапуз. Карапуз is the small child who wears diapers. Но даже карапуз. And what is the moral? Не стойте и не прыгайте, не пойте, не пляшите, там, где идет строительство или подвешен груз. And this is also funny for Russians, because that comes from Soviet times, where on every construction area there was a sign. Don't sing, don't jump, don't do this and don't do that at the construction area, or where there is a load hanging over the construction area. So, не стойте, стоять, we already know it. Не стойте, I mean, стойте is the address to in the plural or in a polite form to people. Don't stand. If you want to address somebody in a polite form and want to tell them, don't stand here. Не стойте. So, не стойте. If you want to say stay here in plural or in a polite form, you will say стойте. Стойте здесь. Stay here. Не стойте. Don't stay. Не стойте здесь. Don't stay here. Не стойте здесь. И не прыгайте. And don't jump. Прыгать is to jump. Не прыгайте. Don't jump. Не пойте. Don't sing. Я пою, он поет, мы поем, вы поете. You are singing. Я прыгаю, ты прыгаешь, он прыгает, вы прыгаете. So we are conjugating verbs here. Не пойте, don't sing. Не пляшите, плясать means to dance. Танцевать, плясать is synonymous. Не пляшите, don't dance. Не пляшите. Там, где идет строительство, там means there. You are pointing to an area. Где means where. There, where. So it's also a combination of words where you can find in English language. Идет is ongoing. Строительство, construction. Where there is ongoing construction или подвешен груз. Or подвешен means hanging. Вешать we already know. Вешать means to hang. What is happening with подвешен? Can you hear this similarity between вешать and подвешен? Yes, the shared part is вешать or висеть, to hang. And here we can also translate it as to hang. So you're very lucky if you got such a great sense of language and sense of listening where you can recognize this. If not, you have to check it in the dictionary. Или means or hanging load. Груз is load. And again, it ends in z, just to point out, meaning it masculine. And then it explains why подвешен ends in n. Because подвешена is for female. Подвешена, подвешен груз, it agrees with груз in the masculine. Не стойте и не прыгайте, don't stay and don't jump. Не пойте, не пляшите, don't sing and don't dance. Там, где идет строительство, there is a ongoing construction or a hanging load.